Starting a clothing brand is really hard. To even get to a product that's ready to sell takes a lot of steps, and most people don't even know how to start. But what if I told you there's a simple way of getting your designs onto clothing just using a heat press and some transfer sheets, which doesn't require a screen print setup, and all you need is something like that in the back right there, you can see, and this washes well, it's been tested, it's simple, cost effective, and it's gonna look like it was done in a print shop, but you actually just do it from the comfort of your home. I've been running my brand for almost 5 years here from the studio, and time again, Plastisol transfers are always gonna be my top pick just because I get that screen printed look and feel without having to go through a screen printer. One of the benefits of doing it through a heat press is that you don't have to commit your blanks to printed goods, meaning that you mitigate that risk of having only one design printed on, let's say 50 units, versus if I do it this way with screen printed transfers, I can have a stack of transfers, a stack of blanks, and I can just print as the orders come in. And this is one of the things that puts the heat press in an advantageous state compared to bulk ordering is if you don't know if your goods are gonna sell, at least you have blanks that are ready to go for another design, versus if you have them printed, you're kind of out of luck if it doesn't sell. So that's why I like this method, because it allows me to test new designs without having to take a big risk. Also, I get to run small batches, so it keeps everything limited, and customers kind of like that limited vibe so that not everyone has the same shirt that everyone else is wearing. There's other options like DTF, DTG, vinyl, HTV, all this stuff, and that's good for other purposes, but for my designs and my aesthetic that I like, screen printed transfers are always going to be the best. DTF might be advantageous in terms of durability because it's on a film, but I just don't like the way it looks, especially because I do a lot of one color prints, and one color prints on DTF also is kind of a waste of money in my opinion, because if you print like a 12 by 18 design on DTF, you're paying a lot more than paying for a sheet that is from like TKO, for example. It's gonna cost way less. So that's why I like using the sheets. It's good for the cost, it's good for mitigating risk, good for the aesthetic, and overall, it's just been proven to work. So I just keep using it. And if you guys wanna check it out, this video is gonna be perfect. There's a lot of brands you can use, but the two brands that I like so far is TKO and Howard. Today we have a new challenger. This is from Stahls. Stahls is the big boys. They got probably the most market share. I mean, they're a pretty big company. They also sell their own equipment, but they also have transfers. This is their Goof Proof Premium, which I got a sample for and I really liked how it came out. So I decided to order my own sheets. This is a 12.5 by 17.5, I believe. I'll put all the stats on the screen, but essentially it's a clear transfer sheet, which makes placing this extremely easy. A lot of space to put your design on. This is the back design. This is the front design. So we're just gonna cut this off. I could have filled this up with more designs on the bottom. When you get a gang sheet, you kind of want to put a lot, but I realized that every time I put too much stuff on my gang sheets, I never use most of the stuff. So I've just been cutting back on the noise and just putting what I need. So one front print, one back print. If you wanted to test a different print, you could have put like, you know, one logo here, one logo here. So gang sheets are a great way to get a bunch of designs for a good price. For the shirt, I'll be using the AS Color box tee. Super nice shirt from AS Color. 7.5 ounces, boxy fit. As you all know, I love AS Color. Their shirts fit really well. And I mean, look at the quality of the stitching and stuff. It's like they really care about the product. So if you want to run a brand that feels premium, you're going to have to use things that are premium. So that's why like AS Color, Cotton Collective, all these other brands that I use are used for that reason. And I also just like using things that feel good on my skin. So box tee, really good one. Faded heavy tee is also a great pick. I have this shirt from Cotton Collective. This one, I already put my branding on it, but this is one of their faded shirts. So a lot of faded shirts trending right now. They look great. They feel good because they're washed. So they don't have like that stiff feeling when you get it. But let's go to the heat press and I'll show you how it's done. When you heat press using 100% cotton shirts, you want to first get rid of the moisture. So place your shirt on the platen. Make sure it's centered, bring it over the lip. No lint, no dust. These shirts don't really attract a lot of dust. So we're gonna pre-press. We're just trying to get the moisture out of the shirt so that the Plastisol transfer can sit nicely on it. With a lot of Plastisol transfers, you're gonna need the heaviest pressure possible. So the way I do it is I'll crank it really hard, and if it doesn't close, I just loosen it a little bit until it closes. So that looks pretty good. We're gonna run it now. And here we have the house logo. We're gonna go from the chest down, 3 inches down, and then you wanna try and match the collar, this part. If you can imagine a crosshair, it goes down, straight the middle, and then a horizontal line here. And basically you wanna try and bring this line to this collar line and bring it down. So you can see I'm leaving some marks. I would normally not do this, but just for the demo, I'm doing it there. Or if you can't visualize it, I also have this thing. I use this often, like for the first shirt usually, just before I get in the groove. So this is a standard placement guide, 3 inches down, 4 inches to the right or left, depends which way you're looking at the shirt. But if you bring the collar up, you can tell that it lines up right here where the collar and the shirt meet right here. So that's like what this is based off of. After you do a lot of shirts, you're not gonna need this because you'll kind of inherently know where the location is. But for the first shirt, I always like using it just so that visually I'm like locked into this area. Size XL, I like to bring the design out just a little bit outward. Someone asked me if the placements should change per size. It really depends on how custom you want to be. If you imagine a screen print shop, they're not going to accommodate that for you because they're not going to make bigger sizes for different shirt sizes. But with the heat press setup, you have that flexibility since the screen doesn't come down and it's not in the exact same spot because you're placing the transfer wherever you want. So I typically try to bring it out just a little bit to the outer edge because bigger shirts, bigger people, you don't want the design to be so close to the center. But you also don't want to go so far like here because that might look good visually to you, but when someone wears it, it's going to be in their armpit. So don't go too crazy. I would say just go like 1/2 inch out. So I'm going to bring it back here and then just so you guys can see it, right? Wow, got it right on the dot and just bring it like a little bit out. And the best way to visualize it is you just go over it, look at it straight from above, bring the collar up, and you can see that there was an imaginary line, it should line up straight there. So we're gonna bring it out just a little bit more. And then this is a press for 10 seconds, hot peel, heavy pressure. So let's rip it. Okay, release, hot peel. Get this baking sheet parchment paper. Press it for the second time to let it settle into the shirt. We release it, and there we go. The shirt's kind of hot right now, so my hand is burning a little bit, but you guys can see right here. See the texture of the shirt coming through the ink, and we'll do the backside. Backside, same thing. We're gonna load it up, but on the other side, grab the ends like this. Evenly thread it. This is important because if you don't thread it evenly, you're gonna be off. You can adjust it by pulling on the edges. This handle helps to center. I also have a white line here that I drew so that when I bring the shirt over, I can visualize where the line is. And once you feel that it's correct, flatten it out, give it that pre-press. You're gonna have to adjust the pressure slightly because when you press the front side, it's double layer. This is single layer of the shirt. So you're gonna have to make it a little bit tighter. So I'm just gonna do like a 1/4 turn. Here we have the In the Beginner's House design. With the back design, I go 3 inches down from here, and then I just give it like an extra little boost depending on the size. If you think about it, if the print is too high on the back, it goes over that like rounded part of your back and it looks kind of weird. If it's too low, it's gonna sink into like the gap of your lower back. So you wanna try and start right where the bend of your back starts, basically like from the shoulder blades. So that's why for bigger sizes, I might go down like 4 inches actually instead of 3. But for medium and small especially, I'll start higher up. But for large, extra large, especially double X, like I might go a little bit lower just because it looks weird when the print is so high and you see someone big wearing the shirt. It just looks like there's so much gap between the end of the artwork and the end of the shirt. And that's all a trial and error, you know, and preference. There's no set rule to do it. If you all have seen some of my other videos, you'll notice that the TKO transfers are on a paper transfer, and those are tricky. You have to really be able to visualize it. But this looks pretty good. We're gonna press it in. This is gonna be 10 seconds again. 10 seconds, easy peel, no resistance. Press it again with this. So the second press is to just ensure that the print is like fully in the fabric, and also the parchment paper helps to release some of the sheen texture on the ink. So that's why I do it this way. We got a close up on the ink. As you can see, it is in the fabric. It's not floating like vinyl in terms of texture. It's hard to see the contrast because it's dark, but you can see like some of these holes. That's like the fabric fibers, or I don't know what the technical term is, but you can see like the texture, right? And what I like about these transfers is there's no edge lift. Like it's completely flat, which some of the other brands that I use, like TKO, they do have an edge to it, which it's not a deal breaker, but I would prefer it to be 100% flat. and this one feels 100% flat. So yeah, I do like how this came out, and let's just talk about the cost and some other stuff. We can just go over what the shirt looks like. This is what it looks like now that it's printed at the back, and then the front. As I mentioned, the left print right here, it looks right around my left chest, and I'm a size large and medium, so if this was a bigger person, it would look perfectly placed like right here. So I do like the slightly lower look. I don't like it when it's too high up. It looks kind of awkward in my opinion. So also depends on how big the transfer is. But overall, shirt came out pretty good. TKO versus Stahls. I think that's the next conversation to be had. The TKO transfers are really good. Like, I use it every day for my brand, but there's always gonna be new competition that pops up. I wanted to try this one because clear transfer is really good compared to paper. Like, paper is a pain in the ass sometimes, especially like when you can't see the artwork, and over time, like, you kind of lose sight of where the center is. Like, it's just something that happens during production because you kind of go in this loop of like getting it done. Your brain's like on autopilot and you start slipping because you think you got it centered, but you know, your eyes just kind of play tricks on you. But that's a very minor thing. Like, I rather focus on the quality of the ink, the quality of the washability. So with this ink, I've washed it about 4 to 6 times so far. Like, I haven't done an extensive test, but within those washes, I did put it through a dryer cycle, which I never put my shirts through a heated dryer cycle. So for that reason, like, it is holding up really well, and that's good to see. Because obviously, like, if it falls apart on the first 3 washes, like, you're not looking too good. So that's good in terms of that. The premium ink does feel a lot nicer than the OG Stahls Goof Proof, which I use for my neck labels. The neck labels, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's such a minor thing. As long as it stays there for a long time and you can read the instructions, like, we're chilling. But for on your body, like, as the main design or asset, I needed it to feel better. So Goof Proof, I didn't like it, but this one I do like a lot. But I mean, it looks great. There's no edge. Yeah, I don't really have much else I can say about it because it's pretty new on the market. So we'll see what happens in the long term, but short-term testing and just going through it, it seems awesome. It peels really easily, which is great. Some transfers, like, even if you apply it right, they get stuck. It's probably a QA/QC thing. Hopefully I won't have a lot of issues with this. The pricing is something that I do want to talk about. Like, it is pretty pricey. I have the sheet next to me right here, but vector art, your art, so whatever you create in vector form, is gonna cost $543 for 24 sheets, $473 for 36 sheets, and then $386 for 48 sheets, which is pretty expensive considering that TKO is on the cheaper side. At 48 sheets, you're talking like $338. So that's like $2 difference per unit. Yeah, at 24 units, there's a really big price difference. We're talking like $570 something for the premium versus the TKO one is like probably $3 something. I'll put the prices up right here. But it is a small number of units, so it doesn't really matter too much. Like, even if it's $3 more. But when we're talking like 50, 80, 100 plus units, then those $3 differences are gonna start making the difference. But as you order more, your price comes down anyway. So if you do order like 96 plus, I don't think it matters too much at that point. But another thing to consider is the difference in the size of the gang sheets. The TKO one is massive, it's 12.75 by 19. And the one from Stahls is 12.5 by 17. So it's a lot different in sizing. But most designs are not gonna exceed like 12.5 width. Like, maybe 12.7 could be better, but at the same time, like, that 0.2 doesn't really matter too much to me. When we're talking like 11.8 to 12.3, to me, that makes a big difference because that's like visually a lot different on a shirt versus when we're talking like 12.5 to 12.7, the design's already so big that it doesn't make too much of a difference whether it's another 0.2 inches bigger or not. And these are things that you're gonna just figure out as you design more and make more clothing. Everyone has a different preference. Some people don't care if it doesn't go past 12. I think the ideal back size print should be like 12.5. Like, that's a good sweet spot for all sizes where it looks decent. Like, a 12 inch on a back of a 2X looks really small. So when you're ordering these sheets, you have to keep in mind, you're not just ordering for size medium and size large. Like, this is gonna be printed on all sizes. And you can order different sizes for different shirts, but that's not recommended. Like, it's gonna cost a lot more. You're gonna have a lot more stock. So it's up to you. Like, you run your brand how you want, but I wouldn't do it that way just because this seems inefficient in my eyes. So I hope you all found this video to be helpful today. Plastisol transfers are my favorite. I'm gonna keep talking about it because I believe it's a really good way to start your clothing brand without putting a lot of money up front, and also allows you a lot of flexibility in changing up how you design and how you put out product. If you guys found my video to be helpful, hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment to make sure I know that you're alive and I can see you in a future video from supporting this one, because this whole thing is about making sure that you learn something from my videos. Otherwise, there's no point in me making this, because I can talk about the same thing every day. I can talk about different subjects every day, but this is for you to find that starting point so you know how to grow from here, and then find the next tip on YouTube, or you'll just figure it out yourself. But I just want to be a resource for you so that you can get started and you have something to work off of. If you need any help sourcing blanks, I do have my ultimate blanks list available in the links in the description box below. It features 50 plus items, all shirts and hats and jackets and all that I've used before. So it's been tested, I've seen it, I've worn it, I've washed it, and they are in the list because I do believe anyone can use it to grow their brand. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the description box below. And if there's anything else that you want to see from me, let me know in the comments as well. But that'll be all for today, and I'll catch you on the next one.